Andy Roman from Elm Treason.
And this is Bobby Steele from Elm Treason.
This is Joe Butch, and you're listening.
One.
Hey, this is Julie Gibb.
Hey, y'all, this is Michael Daughtry.
Hey, Dave here from Grasscutter.
One.
Hey, this is Lil.
We are Coleus.
This is Mr. Susan. You are listening to New Music Saturday with Dr.Bones and Mad Andersons. Those guys are crazy.
Right on, and welcome to New Music Saturday. Mad Andersons are still on leave, so joining me tonight, pretty much a guy needs no introduction, but welcome Dave from Grasscutter back to the show for being our special guest host for tonight.
Good evening.
And
Yeah, Doc.
oh, it's glad to have you back, man. It's always a lot of fun. And our special musical guest for tonight is Harry, who is ill-advised. Welcome to the show, Harry.
Thanks for having me.
So, man, first up, just where did you get the concept for Parkway Devise? Like, I mean, was musical influence have anything to do with it, or just kind of just come up with it saying, you know what, I don't want to do the band thing right away, but I'm going to go ahead and do this because I can take my own time with it and kind of plan it out the way I want to?
Oh, jeez. I've played in bands my whole life. I was lucky. The school I went to was part of the music program was funded by this big band guy from World War II, Glenn Miller. And when he passed away, his estate helped fund the music program. So they from an early age, they started us on a recorder in first grade, then violin. Then I learned trumpet in third grade, and then went to drums, classical guitar. So I kind of had always been playing music since from a very young age, which kind of that informed the orchestral elements on the album for sure. But I started playing in rock bands in middle school and high school, and it just I would always I was trying to find people, and the bass player wouldn't show up one day or the drummer wouldn't show up, so I'd end up playing drums, and then the guitar player wouldn't show up at a show, so I started playing guitar. So it kind of snowballed from there, and after bands kept falling apart, I just figured, you know what, I'm pretty much doing everything myself, so I might as well give it a shot.
Right on. It's not a story I've heard before, so that's pretty cool. But the fact that you're able to kind of just pick the stuff up and do it is just a good feat on its own. Because I tell you, I don't think I'd be comfortable picking up an instrument I've played a few times, but just not, it's completely set with it. So more power to you, they do it. I mean, the only thing I've ever done, it's somewhat like that, but it was hockey, or a goalie didn't show up, so I put on the goalie pads. Yeah, it didn't work out so well, but I tried. So with this album though, it seems like it has kind of like a theme to it. Maybe it wasn't like done purposely, but can you give us a little background on some of the songs as to like, well, you know what? Let's break it down to what your creative process is. Like, what do you usually come up with first, or how do you go about writing your tunes?
Well, the album is actually a concept record. It's over an hour long, and it's split up into two parts. I was really inspired by the old vinyl records where you'd have an A and a B side, and you physically turn the record over, and maybe the second side would have a different vibe to it or a different message. So I kind of came up with the idea of Northbound being side A and Southbound being side B, and they're both split into 6 tracks. So the album's 12 tracks. So first 6 tracks are Northbound, second 6 are Southbound, and it kind of really came about organically. I didn't set out and say, okay, this is the concept and this is what it's going to be. I just kind of had been working on songs for a while, and I kind of started noticing certain themes coming out. One of the themes of the album became duality, kind of light and dark, and that's another big, if you look on the website or if you have an album, like you look on the album, there's a yin and yang. That's a real big thing in terms of presentation. So yeah, in terms of my process, it's kind of different from song to song, but a lot of these started on acoustic guitar. Some of them I just, started writing Pro Tools and started kind of just tracking stuff. So that's kind of how it started.
Right on. Now, for some of the songs, just the titles alone. I mean, was this like more, even though it was like kind of conceptual and kind of came out of nowhere sort of thing? Were there anything behind the songs itself, like as far as like something comparing to real life, or like it just kind of just stories you kind of came up with?
No, everything's informed by real experiences. I mean, that's not to say that they're about specific people. It's
right.
Kind of a combination of different experiences. I mean, I know lyrically, I mean, even Summer Nights is one of those songs that consistently people think is a song about summer love, and it's absolutely not. And I mean, if people want to think that, that's totally cool. I mean, I don't want to tell people when I made the album, I kind of started this band, I didn't want to explain what the songs were about, because I wrote the lyrics where they're specific enough to kind of mean something to me, but general enough that people can kind of input their own experiences and relate to it however they want. But a lot of the lyrics, I mean, they'll change perspective sometimes from stanza to stanza or different sections. So I mean, that kind of lyrically, they are all based on real experiences, because that's how I write. I can't really write, make up stories. That's just not really how it works for me. It's a very emotionally intense experience.
I'm always curious about that, because it can vary from artist to artist and songwriter to songwriter, and it's interesting to me sometimes how they come up with concepts for the songs, because every writing process is completely different from the last one, because you guys have specifics and just the way it goes, and even there may not necessarily be a set program involved, but it kind of just still kind of works itself in the same process, relatively the same. So.
No, absolutely. And I mean, you asked about just the connection between any themes or any kind of similarities. I mean, if you listen to the record is meant to be listened to from start to finish. And I mean, I kind of approached it. I know it's 2016, so it's a very singles-driven mentality now. I mean, you don't really see many albums, let alone a concept album. I mean, people looked at me like I was crazy, and I kind of, I knew very well that there was a small chance that the majority of people were going to listen to it. But, the first track, The Creator, has a line, "I am a ghost, you are my host," and then the last song on the album, The Last Goodbye, you hear that come back. So, I mean, you have a lot of songs that have melodic themes that reappear throughout the songs. I kind of basically looked at the record as if I were a classical composer, and each song is a movement. So you have different, reoccurring themes and melodic motifs that return throughout the record. I mean, so it's kind of, we mixed it so that myself and Michael James, who I have to give props to, because he's really, he's worked with people like Jane's Addiction,
nice.
A lot of those grunge bands as well, L7, and
wow, L7.
He really was the guy who kind of took a chance on me and helped me mix this, and we kind of tried to mix it in a way where there's the record in front, which is the lyrics, the vocals, the guitar, the drums, and then there's kind of the album in the back, where if you want to dig deeper into the album and into the lyrics and the layers, because there are hundreds of layers in every song. I mean, you can, but it's immediate enough that you can kind of sing along. So that was kind of, if I had to condense it, that was what I was trying to go for.
Nice. You know what? It was like, I got really into the album, and I did listen start to finish, because I'm that type of person. If I buy the album or what have you, I want to go through the entire thing, and I still listen to one or two songs, because it kind of defeats the purpose. And excuse me, I really, really did enjoy the album. And when I started listening to Parkway Divides, I started pulling out some of my old grunge CDs, because, not to date myself, but kind of grunge was my high school days. So You know, so I pulled out Bleach, Nirvana's Bleach. And
Right.
that's such a raw album, and it's still hard to think that they did that for $500 at Sub Pop.
It's insane.
Yeah, it was like 89, I think, 89 or 90, $500 to do that album. And the funny thing is if you, at the time, again, dating myself, I had the tape first, and for some reason, the tape, unlike the CD, if you buy the CD, it has a song Big Cheese on it. On the tape, Big Cheese is marked on it, but it's not on the tape itself for some reason. I have no idea why. But I felt pretty gypped until I got the CD. It's like, okay, well, this is a song. Why does it say Big Cheese and there's no song?
Bootleg.
Yeah. So,
Ripped.
Dave, I can hand over to you if you got a few questions for Harry.
Oddly enough, I've not listened to Ill-Advised because this is kind of was a spur of the moment thing, really, wasn't it? But
Yep.
I mean, you mentioned about the songwriting process. It sounds very similar to the way we do stuff as well. Do you ever sit and think about a song, as in, like, sit yourself down and think, I'm going to write a song about a certain theme? Or is it always just pure inspiration?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. No, I mean, for this record, it certainly was a lot of... I didn't really think about it. It kind of... I mean, as cliche as it sounds, the songs just kind of came out, and for lack of a better word term, I kind of just went with it. And I mean, Summer Nights is one of those songs that was probably written in like 15 minutes. And I recorded the whole thing. I think I just spent 14 hours straight just tracking the entire song, and that was it. And that became the first single. So yeah, I mean, I think the stuff I'm working on now, it's certainly more... there's a little more, maybe more of an analytical kind of process to it, just because, trying to maybe, after your first record, I mean, I think you kind of try to think more about, well, what's this album going to be, whereas before, like, you're kind of just writing songs to write songs, and that's kind of, I think, maybe that's a common experience that new artists kind of deal with early on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to delve into it because I've got pure writer's block at the moment, but I can't sit and actually plan out a song or think about a song. It just doesn't work, so I can totally relate to that.
Right on.
Okay.
So we're gonna get to the first song of the night, and since we've been talking so much about it, we're gonna listen to the creator. Dig this. This is Ill-Advised.